I should probably just go live right now.
If I had a choice, I would prevent you from going live, but I don't have a choice.
Why would you stop me from going live?
It's my lot in life.
Latin?
Lot.
Oh, you're
My
locked
lot.
in life. That's okay.
Yes.
I see. Yeah.
It's my Latin life.
Your Latin lifestyle prevents people from going live.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh, it's been a while.
It has. It's been like a couple months, I think.
I think so. It's been super busy at the store. You know, life goes on.
Mhm.
I think I said that too soon. It's been a couple. It's been a couple of months. The store has been really busy this past month. We had a huge trade-in, and so much of my time was devoted towards doing this whole thing that I didn't get a chance to actually work on anything podcast related. I hadn't played games in like a month at this point. Like, I haven't sat down at my console and played anything in so long.
Mhm.
And now I finally have time to sort of chill and relax and do this, and we can chat and invite people to listen to us do that. But yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
A Dinosaur's Tale.
Oy.
I sold a copy of that in the Game Boy to a little girl the other day.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
How did you convince her that was the game?
I said, "Don't tell your parents that you're going to buy this game, because if so, I'll never allow you in my store again."
And just like the urge to rebel against her parents, like she was going to buy a totally different game,
Right.
and you kind of pulled her off of whatever she was looking at, probably like Carmageddon, and
Right.
and you told her like, this is your chance to be the ultimate rebel, the ultimate teen.
Yeah, I said Carmageddon is just like doing bad things in a game. Do you want to be bad in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got her to buy. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was not genuinely bad, but we've turned it into something. Oh, holy smokes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited because we have a lot of good stuff to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
Video game news, and obviously E3s this week, and a whole bunch of stuff has already been said, and there's just a lot to discuss in general, all over the place.
Yeah.
So, various foods, breakfast recommendations. I'm big on those right now.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of breakfast, but I don't eat breakfast because I have this weird. My body is strange, and if I eat within like the first 90 to 120 minutes of me being awake, I just have to like immediately take a giant poop.
Oh no.
I don't get why that is, but it's been that way my whole life pretty much. I used to eat breakfast before school and then have like a really like unpleasant school bathroom poop at some point in like during second period.
Oh shoot.
And so then I stopped eating breakfast and I stopped having to poop.
Okay. So do you think like
if you stop eating, you don't have to poop? I don't know if people know it's a life hack.
That's that's what the advanced world leaders used to use, like Caesar and
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill. Yep, absolutely. Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those guys. It's well, because the poop is like halfway through you, and when you eat more food, it just pushes the poop out straight away.
Right.
Yeah, so it's dangerous. I have this thing that happens a lot where I wake up in the morning and I'm like, you know what, I should probably poop either before I get in the shower or before I leave for the store. And I'll try and I'll be like, all right, nothing's happening, so we'll just, whatever. And either as soon as I finish taking a shower, I'm like, oh, well, now I got to poop because clearly. Or the moment I make it to the store and I don't have somebody in for 3 hours, then I have to poop.
Mm-hmm.
Clockwork.
You've inadvertently trained yourself. This is your biological poop clock.
It's supposed to be like this.
Because when I worked at Sitel, I was getting really fed up with my job, and I found that I could just like kind of sneak off for like a half-hour poop, like around 4:30. And I typically did not. I until recently in my life, I've been like a very infrequent pooper. We're talking like maybe 3 times a week on average.
It's fair.
But ever since I wanted to start like avoiding my work and using poop as the really the perfect crime, I started pooping the same time every day, no matter what. Didn't matter when I ate lunch. Didn't matter like what time I came in. it didn't matter if I even worked that day. I'd be at home and it'd be 4:30, and it's like, all right, I have to poop. So there's something. Maybe it's like the rush of needing to poop when customers could potentially come in.
It's like a thrill, like you don't want to get caught.
Your body is thirsting for that.
It's like an exhibitionism kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, like I could I could just go lock the door and then walk to the back and then poop real quick, but like what if I didn't lock the door and I was pooping and somebody came in and I was just like getting all tingly?
Yeah.
It's part of it. Life is mysterious.
Have you considered maybe like a store scarecrow that you could put behind the counter?
Like there could be like a big like, blow up doll, like the clowns from Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've thought about it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's a question.
I think about it.
Can people ask us questions tonight? Is that something that we have?
I should have it enabled. So yeah, if you're watching and you want to, there should be a little box below this somewhere. I never know because I'm never on the receiving end of the page. And you can just type things in and submit them, and they'll show up on our sidebar over here. And I can look at them and answer them for you.
I'm gonna see if I can't solve the mystery here.
Okay. Or rewrite history.
Yeah.
So do you think it would be in WayForward's best interest to redo Adventures in the Magic Kingdom?
John, I'm mad at WayForward.
For what?
I got a game for free that I didn't expect to be good.
Okay.
And then the more I learned about it, I really expected it to be good. And then it wasn't good.
Oh.
And the game in question is Hotel Transylvania for the 3DS.
Okay.
So I get it because it's just whatever. It's there, you know?
Yeah.
And it's free. So, again, whatever. And so I get it, and I'm looking at the back, and I'm like, huh, it looks kind of nice. And then I open up the manual, and I'm like, oh, shit, WayForward made this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking through the manual, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's a Metroidvania.
Code.
But then I remember Ninja Turtles.
That did happen.
And that somehow, like, WayForward just doesn't know how to make a Metroidvania.
Which is so strange.
Because this game has, like, decent music,
mm-hmm.
and the animation and the controls are all really tight up to a point. When you start unlocking new abilities, it gets kind of messy. But
they just never
mess. It was a total mess.
That far. Yeah.
All you have to do in this game is, like, fetch quests around this tiny map.
Hmm.
Like, your Dracula dad will be like, oh, could you, like, go get we need to, like, refill the soda machine for the lobby. And so you have to, like, go into the dungeon and find, like, the refill canister and take it to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you do for the whole game. And there's, like, 3 boss fights, and they're all against the same 3 shitty werewolf kids.
Is this like Shitty Neighbors or what? I never saw the movie, so I don't know, like, what.
I haven't seen the movie either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the werewolf kids are, like, they neighboring, or are they just, like, guests of the hotel?
They're guests. So the premise, from what I can tell from the game, is that, like, it's Dracula's daughter's birthday, like her 120th birthday or something like a big milestone. And she has a human friend who's, like, dressed like a Frankenstein monster, but isn't a Frankenstein. He's a human.
Mm-hmm.
And the chef of the hotel knows he's a human. No one else does. And kidnaps him so that he can cook the human boy into, like, a soup or something like that.
Okay.
And so you're trying to save him this whole time, but your dad just won't listen to you and keeps asking you to do menial fucking bullshit.
Typical, like, refill the soda machine.
Yeah.
If you don't refill the soda machine, who doesn't get the drinks? Because you're killing the humans.
Well, there's the Invisible Man is there. The werewolf family is there.
Do they drink sodas?
I think some of them do. Yeah, probably. I think they like a nice tab.
Okay.
So yeah, you pretty much kill everything by jumping on it.
Okay.
There's no penalty for dying. The penalty for dying is that you go back to the start of the room that you're in.
Oh.
Like the screen goes black and then you restart the room that you were currently in. So yeah, it took like 2 hours to beat. And I thought, like, well, maybe I'll 100% it because there's, like, a lot of gems you can find, and if you get enough of them, like, your health bar goes up. But as it turns out, this game has a glitch that I didn't find out about until after the fact, that once you beat it, if you try and load your save file, it crashes your 3DS.
Wow. Okay, so like post-game shenanigans you got to do in one go.
Yeah.
What if that's intentional?
I don't know.
It's like unlocking Ultra Nightmare mode in Doom.
So I finished the game with like 92%, and I was like, yeah, I could clean this up.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not get the chance to do so.
Okay, I see. Also, I forget that when people are on YouTube, if they're watching straight to the YouTube channel, their comments will go here, and I can see them to a limited extent.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody says hi, Nash.
They said hi, Nash, or Nash says hi?
Nash says hi.
Oh,
Nash
hi, Nash.
Hi, Nash. Hello. How are you? Okay. So, I didn't really play a lot this month, past 3 or 4 weeks, but before then, I played 2 things a lot. And that was finishing up the Nathan Drake collection. And I just blitzed through these things. I just wanted to get to them and finish them up so I could play Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Which, incidentally, is I've only started a tiny bit of it, but holy crap, man. That team is so dripping with talent. Artistically, it is absolutely unbelievable. Naughty Dog has my respect for life. However, no matter what I'm playing, I always go back to thinking about what it feels like to play the new Doom game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible. So the narrative is not as strong as Uncharted,
Sure,
unless you want the plot to be like, what do Space Marines on Mars do? And like, you might be more into that. But it's cool because the plot is extremely secondary to everything, which, is sort of typical Doom fashion, but it's also structured in such a way that this game is basically Metroid Prime with just blood, guts, and rock music. I'm not kidding in any way, because it's exploration-based. It really wants you to traverse the environment to find secret stuff, to find hidden stuff. It doesn't require you to, but it's very set up to do that if you wanted to. But it's also level to level, so you don't have to like go back to run all the way back to the beginning of the game. You can just choose to start at chapter 1. But the structure is really good, and the story is secondarily displayed, and it actually ties the first couple Doom games into it in an extremely effective and super cool manner, which I think is neat because those games have a story that's pretty,
Yeah, I think the story is like a total of 9 paragraphs long for both games combined.
Yeah, basically. And it even makes sense of like Doom 64's plot. So it's really interesting how it incorporates all those things in such a way that like your character is called the Doom Slayer, and it was a demon killer, the man from Doom 1 and 2, basically who went on a rampage through hell, and all the demons couldn't stop him. He was just this killing machine who killed all the demons. So they refer to him as the Doom Slayer. And there's the first era, which is Doom 1, the second era, which is Doom 2. And ultimately they had to end up like burying him in a sarcophagus in hell, which ended up being like pulled out and rescued by the UAC. And he ended up waking up from like this Doom coma and just started killing things and going back to hell and finishing what he started. And it's wonderful. It's fast-paced. It looks good. It feels good. Guts are everywhere. Rock music plays, and you're just blasting the hell out of everything. Literally. Yeah. But yeah, I haven't been that satisfied playing just a game in a long time.
Okay.
I'm extremely impressed with it. What have you been playing?
Golly gosh. I'm still playing a lot of Rocket League. I got back into Counter-Strike a little bit too, even. Other than that, I really haven't been playing a whole lot of stuff aside from what I've been streaming, which I've had a weird kind of collection of things I've streamed this month so far.
Mm-hmm.
I've played through Gremlins 2.
Yes. For the Game Boy or the NES?
NES. I've never played the Game Boy version.
It's not bad. It's very different, but not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I played through Super Punch-Out.
How do you feel about Super Punch-Out?
I'm a big fan. I think Super Punch-Out adds a lot of tightness that was lacking up until that point in the series.
Sure.
I think it's significantly easier. Like, it's probably the easiest Punch-Out there is.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's so well built for local speedrunning makes it okay that it's that easy.
That's fair.
Like that you can have 8 different save files and that they all track scores uniformly per fighter and per circuit. It makes score attack like really, really simplified. So I'm a big fan of that game.
What's really nice too is that like something amazing about that game to me is it's a Super Nintendo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're dealing with sprites that are like a third the size of the entire screen, and they're huge and beautifully animated, and it's colorful. Yeah, that game looks absolutely terrific too.
It really does. There's nothing like aged poorly about that game whatsoever.
The music is the only part that it's not bad. I just don't find it to be memorable. And so my biggest knock against it is that like I can think of the music, but it doesn't like stand out as being like, oh, dude, that soundtrack, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not bad music by any means. But God, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Mario 64 did a 120-star run on that.
Oh, good. In like what, 20 minutes?
And like probably, how long did it take me? Probably about 8 hours.
That's way different than 20 minutes, Michael.
Yeah, I know.
Slightly disappointed.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's been a long time since I played all the way through that game. It'd take me a lot longer. Hey, wee guy, Nico's back. He says, hey guys, if you happen to be looking here, good to see you again. Love you guys. And Nico, if some of you have ever been on the show before and watched, he's one of our buddies who lives, I think, in Oregon. And he does a video game music channel where he stereofies classic NES music and puts it online for people to see full soundtracks of a bunch of NES stuff. I think he has almost everything up there at this point. So, hello, Nico.
Hi. You know what's interesting about Super Punch-Out though, that I didn't click with me until the last time I played through it and I was watching the credits. It's the first video game, I believe, with voices by Charles Martinet.
Does he do Gabby J?
He does every single. He does the boxers. He does the announcer. He does the fake Little Mac, I think.
Okay. Who is this Little Mac? This isn't the Little Mac.
It's Michael J. Fox, I think.
Okay. Little Fox.
Yeah.
Little Mike.
Now, according to Wikipedia, they say it is Little Mac, but that's clearly not Little Mac.
I've heard the same. I wondered, like, did he like bleach his hair and like then just go crazy as a boxer? Because, yeah. Okay, I have another question for you.
Okay.
Did you play? I think it was Fight Night Round 3 on the GameCube.
Round 2 is the one you're thinking of. No,
okay.
I did not. I did not.
Okay. Because you can unlock Super Punch-Out within the game.
Yeah.
Did you ever see what Little Mac looks like? Because you can unlock him to bring him into the actual game to fight the real boxers.
No.
He looks monstrous. Because they tried to keep like his proportions and style, so it just looks like a Nightmare Man, where he has like the big blue eyes and like this blonde hair and this gigantic forehead, and it's really terrifying. But you should check out. There's probably videos on YouTube.
Yeah, there has to be.
Worth checking out.
Yeah. But no, because he's also much taller, right?
Yeah, Little Mac is supposed to be pretty short, and this new Little Mac,
he's about the same size as everyone except for like the bosses.
Yeah, the Bruisers.
Yeah, the Bruisers.
Those things are scary. I think they should have just put Rick Bruiser in Smash Brothers instead of Little Mac. Would have made more sense.
Yeah, it would have.
Let's see. Oh, Nico says the NTSC American Library is at least over halfway for his uploads. There's still combined over 600 soundtracks to go, including Game Boy and Master System. So he's still got plenty of 8-bit music he's putting up there. Makes me happy. Warms this old heart of mine.
There is beta footage of Super Punch-Out with an old version of Little Mac, and he basically just looks like an anime hero. Like he's got like the brown hair that kind of like all swoops to the side and never moves.
Like from Street Fighter Third Strike, one of the brothers.
He actually does, yeah, kind of look like, yeah, but with like a rounder hairdo.
Okay. Like a pompadour?
Yeah.
Sideways pompadour?
No. Like just picture like every Gundam character. Like
okay.
Yeah. So
okay, that makes sense. What topic are we talking about right now, Nico? We're just sort of recapping all the games and stuff that we've been playing recently, and streaming or mainstream.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten through like so. Okay, so after Mario 64, what did I do after that? I did Dark Forces, I think, Star Wars Dark Forces.
Okay.
which I think is a fantastic game. I think it really still holds up very well. If no one's ever played it, that's difficult to believe because I played it.
Mm-hmm. I don't. Yeah, this is not my era either. I was not alive then.
Yeah, me either.
Not alive during the late 90s.
Shit. What else? The Typing of the Dead. I 100% of the Typing of the Dead.
Oh, good. Okay.
Which is a lot of fun.
That's
I'm a big fan of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm working on Shining Force, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the tail end of that. I think I've got like maybe a half dozen at most battles left.
Okay. The Shining Force 1.
Shining Force 1 for the Sega Mega Jega JZ.
The Mega JZ.
I've been buying games. I've been actually playing through the Immortal for the NES lately, and this is in Nico's realm of expertise probably because I'm really kind of blown away with how good the music sounds in that game. Like it's pretty much the same like three or four like jingles, but it has like a lot of atmospheric depth to it that I don't see very often on the NES. Like there's certainly no shortage of great music for the system, but this feels more like moody, which is something you don't really get a lot.
I like that.
Like Mega Man fights Cutman, and you listen to the music and you think that like, yeah, everything's probably pretty good in Mega Man's life. Like he's gonna go give Cutman a high five and like swap bicycles.
Bike swap.
Really,
yeah. Okay.
On Craigslist.
Yeah, they just message each other.
Yep. Yeah, at Cutman 1992.
Yeah, private email exchange.
Yeah.
When you describe it, like I'm in my mind, I'm picturing the music being more complex. Maybe like Castlevania 3. But when I think of moody music, I think of stuff like Shadowgate and stuff where like it definitely emphasizes an atmosphere the moment you walk in a specific room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is very much. It's not quite the same because obviously like Kemco's Nintendo music was on a different sort of. It all sounds really, even like Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular. It has like a really kind of specific sound to it. And this is more kind of like generic in its composition or in the synthesizers used, but yeah, it's in the same vein for sure.
Okay.
Especially because you're just this old man with a knife and a fireball staff like wandering through a dungeon. Honestly, the game is very much like Shadowgate because you just die constantly. It's like if Shadowgate were an action game, it would be.
So what is the penalty for dying in this? How far back do you go? Do you save points back of the room?
You go back to the room you were in previously, but if you die, I think like 3 or 4 times within the same level, you go back to the start of the level.
Okay.
But there's a password system for each level. And so it's not like a huge, like there's a couple areas where you can like heal, and they're usually right before the level ends, and I just ignore them because once you've beat the level, then you just start back at the beginning of that level anyways. Okay.
So do you retain stats from level to level, or like as a password, just straight up like you'll start level 2 with the base stats or
items? Yeah, you keep your items.
Okay. So
there's not really any stats to speak of. There are items that kind of give you stat boosts, but then so that falls under the umbrella of items.
Sure. Okay. I'm impressed. I'm excited to start digging back through a handful of older games and catching up on some stuff.
Yeah.
Also, it's worth noting that up until I believe the 21st, one more week, Nintendo on both the eShop for Wii U and 3DS are running some really massive sales right now on a lot of first-party games, and that doesn't happen often. So I'd recommend checking some of those out because they have Majora's Mask for like $20 on the eShop for the 3DS.
Yeah, I think they have like Minish Cap for like $4.
Yeah, they've got some stuff that's reduced significantly, and this is one of those things where, because Nintendo does not do this frequently, hopefully they'll do it more often, because I was very impressed to see their selection of games and the prices. It's like 46% off a Zelda game, and I was like, damn, you can get these for, dollars for some of the eShop. They had Oracle of Ages and Seasons, I believe. But, yeah, just before I forgot, I thought of that just out of nowhere. But. Okay, so it sounds like, let's see, there's, we'll get into E3 here in a second, but you've been pretty busy with your stream and getting all that going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm playing most of my games these days. It's kind of an excuse in a way. Like I'm really trying to build my stream, but at the same time, you know, it's easy for me to work a significant portion of hours a day, knowing that I've set aside 3 or 4 hours, also under the guise of work, but to play video games.
Sure.
So
okay, I'm proud.
Yeah,
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
Yeah, Hulk.
Yep, that's the Incredible Hulk. So actually, we'll discuss that real quick because speaking of the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, no, the Hulk Hogan, Gawker is done.
Yeah, they're gone.
Because for anybody who didn't know what happened, I'm actually trying to remember the specifics now, but it was basically it set up a lawsuit against Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, they posted a sex tape.
Invasion of privacy. So he sued, and because he's Hulk Hogan, he wins.
Yeah. And the court ordered that he get $150 million.
Yeah.
Which Gawker did not have.
Yep. So that's what happens when you go. You just don't do things like that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like you're exploiting some dude who works at the bar downtown.
Like how much are you really gonna get traffic-wise?
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of anyone who wants to see Hulk Hogan having sex.
Whoa.
Okay.
Right, yeah. One person.
The Big Show.
Yeah, I wanted to think of him watching that. Here's the other question. When you hear sex tape, it has to be, like, recorded with, like, an iPad. Because it's clearly not a VHS, right?
Yeah. But it's Hulk Hogan.
But it could be a VHS because it's Hulk Hogan. But I'm trying to imagine anybody actually still keeping like an archive of VHSs of sex tapes at all. And it's titillating. And
well, originally they were all first-run episodes of Major Dad, but they've all been taped over with celebrity sex tapes.
But he never actually altered the labels, so
yeah.
This dude bought his Major Dad videotape at a Hulk Hogan garage sale, and then was like, wait a second.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how Gawker got it.
Okay, good. Oh, Gawker. So anyway, long story short, they destroyed themselves, and now Kotaku is under new ownership. A lot of those subsidiary sites are now under new ownership. I think Gawker, I heard is under IGN now. Or not Gawker, Kotaku. So, interesting umbrella. And I do like actually thinking, yeah.
I think it's the end. Like, a lot of these... Like, I can't see IGN continuing to operate Kotaku because it's redundant.
That is correct. Yeah, it's really just you own a sub business that is the same business that you're already doing.
Yeah, one of them is going to go away probably.
They're probably just gonna like swallow all of the Kotaku staff members and turn them into IGN affiliates like straight, and that's it. So, Damon Hatfield and Michael McWhirter will now just be cubicle buddies.
Here's a post that Kotaku put up since we started.
Like tonight?
Which I think may be of interest to you.
Okay.
Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age.
Yes.
It comes with a fast forward button.
Really?
So you can play at twice or 4 times speed.
I like that games are doing this right now. For people who want to play through the game faster.
Also, oh my God. Rhythm Heaven Megamix?
When is it out? And I forgot that was happening.
Now. It's in the eShop.
Hold on 1 second. Like, seriously, hold on.
And I made John leave. So, I mean, I'm excited for him, but it does kind of mess with the flow of the podcast a little bit. All right, he's back. All right.
Okay.
Hi.
All right, so we're going to cut the podcast short.
Yeah. Yeah, the release date was, quote, sometime in 2016, and apparently it was now.
Well, now in 2016. That's not something I'm opposed to. Okay. I'll try not to be too excited or distracted. I'll just download it, and then we'll continue as normal. But
oh, no, I mean, like, look, you do what you like. It's fine.
Very
It's fine.
excited. Really excited right now.
Another game that we got as a surprise release that you were excited about is Trials of the Blood Dragon.
I still didn't even download that, but
You know what? You might not want. I mean, you're an open-minded guy.
Yeah.
But I was excited because I love Trials, and I heard that Far Cry Blood Dragon was an excellent game.
Yeah.
And the next day I went to look at it on Steam, and the reviews are like overwhelmingly negative.
Did you see the trailer for it?
Yes.
Okay. I think it looks cool. I actually really like that it looks like it's still going to be totally momentum-based, but they're adding a couple weird features in. And so I think the deviation is going to be fun as long as you expect that, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks very fun. So you got to get that as well, too. Yeah, that was out of nowhere. I actually really like when E3 announcements are kind of like, hey, guess what? Here's a spooky new game. What's the spooky new game? Oh, it's Resident Evil. Oh, go download it. Oh, wow. Like,
yeah, it's nice that we can kind of do what the Saturn did, but better now because of digital.
Yeah, basically.
And this year's E3, I've been talking to a lot of people, and granted, like, they tend to be more skeptical, I guess is the word.
Sure, I've seen a lot of that.
And so the consensus that I've heard from a lot of people is that this year's E3 was kind of lackluster. And I think it's just because what we got this year was a lot of hard release dates for things we've known about for a long time.
It has been just a lot of confirmation, yeah, for stuff that's not really surprising. That's true.
You know, it is surprising. I don't know if you saw Iga's post on the Bloodstained Facebook today.
I did not.
He ate macaroni and cheese for the first time.
Oh, wow. What, did he like it?
He apparently loves it. Like the pictures of him like trying to fathom. Yeah, it's really the greatest thing. It's just like a picture of him like hunched over a bowl of mac and cheese, like his head in his hands, like he's trying to understand.
He's just gone his whole life without it.
Yeah, he said it says this is all the post says. Iga never had mac and cheese. Apparently, it's way different from what he imagined. He loved it, and then it's just got a picture of him.
That's actually the best thing I've ever heard. And for someone to experience something that simple and to be blown away by it,
I just want to know, like, what did he think? Like, what if it wasn't what he expected? How did he?
What did he think it was going to taste like?
What did he think it was going to be?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine because, like, knowing mac and cheese, I can't expect pasta and cheese to taste anything like anything else, and it tastes exactly like you would expect it to.
And I can't picture how else it would be prepared in a way that it would catch you off guard. Like, is he a picture like a wedge of cheese with just some like cooked macaroni on top of it?
Yeah, or like a cheese wheel, like laced like a sun hat would be with spaghetti.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
You know, I don't know. What is the Japanese interpretation?
He's gonna take it back to them, and mac and cheese is now is the time to invest.
That's right, exactly. In Japan.
Yeah.
Apple of Japan. Okay, I'm downloading Rhythm Heaven. Hold on. Oh,
another business that's we're just kind of like talking in circles right now, and whatever.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Hastings is probably not going to make it through the month.
No, this is the end. The end of an era.
Yeah, really.
Dude, I've been going to Hastings as long as I can remember as a kid.
Hastings was one of the first things I did when I moved to New Mexico. Like when I really moved here, like I spent a month here and then I left and I came back. And that weekend, I remember going to Hastings. Like my parents just left, and I was like, "All right, I might go to Hastings." So it's really weird to me that they could potentially be gone. I know that like they've started closing stores, and what I understand is that they're currently looking for buyers, but that they don't have the money to operate through the entirety of July.
Yeah, I can imagine with a store as big as they are and all the inventory assets they have in there, and how much money they make, which I'm sure is fine. I can't imagine it adding up the way they need it to. You know?
Yeah,
that's a lot of overhead for a place like that. So crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. It makes me sad to think about, but I suppose that's sort of like the way of it, like brick and mortar stores for something that they do, because so much of what they offer is now obsolete, half of what they offer. They have a lot of, collectible goods and toys and pops and,
Yeah.
Doctor Who and Ninja Turtles and all that kind of stuff, magazines and books. But so much of like that can be acquired elsewhere very easily. You can, anything you want to buy, you can get on Amazon for probably cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can download movies, heaven forbid, download movies and all that nonsense.
Well, no, but even like legitimately, like they sell movies. Well, you can get those digitally.
Yeah.
You can get it on iTunes. You want to rent a movie? You can do that on Amazon.
Yeah.
You want to get a book? You could download it to your Kindle.
Yeah.
You want some music? Like there's Spotify.
Yeah.
I think that's why they've kind of doubled down on like the Funko Pop figurines and things like that, is because they needed something that you had to go get.
Yeah.
But I'm not a digital person. Like I get digital if I don't have another choice.
Right.
So like seeing a store like them go down is like really distressing to me, because there's already so few places that I can shop for the goods that I want.
Right.
And I do use a lot of Amazon like to buy games and things, but it's such a crapshoot. Like, because so few Amazon sellers post the condition, like actually post a photo of the game.
Yeah.
And so it's always like, oh, it's an acceptable condition, when really like the entire label has been torn off and like it's perpetually sticky.
Yeah. Melted plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I agree. No, it's weird to see something like this potentially come to the end. When Blockbuster went out, it kind of made sense, but it was still really sad because they'd been a part of my life, my entire life. I'd been going to video rental stores ever since I can remember, because that was such a main part of culture that once it began to subside, it was kind of like, wow, they're just going sort of like the way that a store like this would naturally go. And Hastings, I wouldn't pin that to be the same kind of thing, but it makes sense because they're so massive. It's not like they're a store that's a third their size that carries all that stuff. They're a massive store that's been doing this for so long. CDs and like you said, literally every last thing can be acquired elsewhere much more easily.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we had to buy cassette tapes and CDs, like that was the place you would go straight up, like no matter what, and it was exciting. And now you download everything, you stream it through Spotify or Pandora or YouTube. It's weird seeing that kind of stuff actually come to an end.
Yeah. And I shop at Hastings regularly. I go there at least once a week.
I do too. It's right up the street from me all the time.
So,
yep.
Now, I guess, honestly, like GameStop, I've started shopping at GameStop a lot more. For a long time, I kind of boycotted them because I disliked their policy on like throwing cases and manuals away for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But Xbox 360 games are way too cheap right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff you can buy for super good price.
I've gotten some really like stuff I've wanted for a long time for really, really cheap, like Infinite Undiscovery for $5. I got Killer is Dead for like $3.
Mm-hmm. That game tanked in price, by the way. Like even after it was new, I think within like a month it was $20 brand new.
Yeah, and it had been on Steam sale a couple times for like, it was in a Humble Bundle, I think, for $1 at one point.
Yeah,
but I've heard that the PC version is literally unplayable.
Oh, good.
Like, the game won't let you beat like level 1.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was like, all right, I guess I won't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for Suda, so it was nice to finally pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear Rising, I got that for $5. Just a lot of stuff. It's good stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
Good
things.
Good things. So
Too Human for like $1, I think. I got Too Human for $1.
That game I know has like a lot of issues, but I still actually really enjoyed it. For a buck, I'd especially enjoy it.
Yeah. I know a couple people who like a question I like to ask people a lot is like, what's a game that you kind of know in your heart to be not good? Like the whole world is telling you how not good this game you like is, but you still like it. And I know more than one person who lists Too Human is like that number one game on their list. So.
There's just a couple fundamental flaws, but it's not a bad game. Like, there's a couple things that could have been better, mostly how long it takes for you to not die. That was probably the worst part, but it was fun. I thought, I've played far worse than that before.
Yeah.
So Nintendo sort of stealthily announced a new RPG today.
Yeah, Ever Oasis.
Ever Oasis. Have you heard about this at all?
I've heard a little bit. I haven't looked too much into it. I know that I want to call it Grillo. What's the name?
Gretzo.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Is the
They're like co-developer, basically. Yeah. Them and Nintendo are developing this in tandem, and they're the ones who've done a handful of like the 3DS Street Pass games. They did the port of Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. Really, they're a good company. I mean, it's you don't really think about it because they just do sort of like small scale but good quality stuff. And this game was actually created by the original proprietor of Secret of Mana, the original creator.
Which is exciting, but at the same time, like, how far into that series was he involved?
That's what I'm actually wondering is like if he just was like, oh, here's Seiken Densetsu 1, 2, and 3, cool, and then just like disappeared.
I didn't go as far as 4. Like, I like Legend of Mana. It's not as good. It's not as tight as the first 3, but I think it's got a lot more going for it than every other Mana game released after that.
That's true, unfortunately. Yeah.
Like, I've played Children of Mana, and that was just boring.
I never did. Was that the one for DS?
One of the DS ones.
What was the one? Dawn of Mana for
PS2?
I remember I never played it, but I was curious. Is it bad?
I have. It's okay. So unless there's a mechanic that appears later in the game, or I was just doing it really, really wrong, because I started playing. I had surgery, and I was like, all right, I'm out of work for like 3 weeks. I'm gonna really dig through my backlog and like play some stuff. And I picked up Dawn of Mana, and so like a big thing of the Mana series is like a wealth of weapons, and they each feel different. And Dawn of Mana offers all of that, and it looks great, and it feels like an even prettier Kingdom Hearts. But if you use any of those weapons to kill anything, you don't get experience. The only way you get experience by killing monsters is if you throw rocks at them that do like 1 HP of damage.
Hold on. Do you have to like deliver like the killing blow with a rock?
You could do it that way, yes, but that means that you have to get them down to like single digits. Find a rock, pick it up, and throw it at them.
So I'll play devil's advocate here for a second. Okay, if you were out in the wilderness and you could kill anything using like if you could kill like a bear or a lion, I guess whatever. Using only rocks, you would gain a lot more experience than using like a gun or a whip or whatever.
I agree, but you gain no experience by using a gun or a whip.
Why would they do? Okay, so you're wondering if maybe somewhere down the line they actually like rescind that mechanic.
Yeah, like if you make it to like the first 3 dungeons, there's like an old man who's like, "Gee, wouldn't it be cool if you didn't have to fucking use rocks?" Here's a spell.
That's a weird mechanic. Okay. If anybody has an insight into the rest of this game,
please. If I was just playing it very, very wrong, please let me know.
Well, there's like a hidden experience stat that just doesn't tell you about it.
It uses the Havoc physics engine. Like, it's a really beautiful game.
Did you just knock a rat by Overwatch and roll off a cliff?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, I might play this on principle. Oh, shoot. Okay, so hopefully this new Mana Guys creation is something worth pursuing. I'm already tempted just because of all the development credentials, but who knows? I won't say I'm going to expect it to be like the Mana series in decline, but I'm excited to see what it could possibly be. But that's weird.
it's worth looking into.
Okay. What else? A new Mario Party for the 3DS was sort of just announced out of nowhere. Apparently, everybody doesn't take turns. Everybody plays at the same time, which is kind of an interesting deviation. Presumably, to just pick up the speed of the game for multiplayer. Sitting there, with all your 3DSs in your hand, you're not just sitting there holding a 3DS, not playing the game.
Yeah. So
I think it sounds like kind of a neat idea. Who knows if it'll be fun, but I'm willing to give it a shot because I like playing little party games with friends. Obviously, they've been showing off Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna be one of those guys who like keeps calling it the Wind Walker, because it's people used to come and say that all the time. But like Breath of the Wind makes immediate more sense to me. But Breath of the Wild also makes sense. But I keep just instinctively feeling like it's Breath of the Wind. Anyway, Breath of the
we
Wild.
talked about it last night, and we you laughed about it, and it didn't even occur to me that I was wrong in calling it Breath of the Wind.
Right, yeah, because you said, yeah. And it was, however, just whatever the case, I saw the trailer, and I felt my stomach sort of drop the way I feel when I get excited about a game that I'm not ready to be excited about. And I haven't felt that way in a while. There's been games I've been pumped about before. But honestly, I think it's such an exciting prospect for the series that is so formulaic to be changed this drastically.
Yeah.
It's exciting me tremendously.
Yeah, I think it's a very good step, and I'm interested in seeing more.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very, very cool to see that they're taking it in a direction. And I think what I like the most about it is that what's cool about this is, like, when you play Zelda 1, it's very easy to be like, hey, I walked into this dungeon and it was like, there was these enemies inside and it said level 2 on it. But, Steve Schiff, when he was little, I think he's dead. Anyway, he say Steve Schiff was playing Zelda and he went through the dungeons in the right order. He found this or he found that, because the game is somewhat freeform, not fully, but it allows a lot more exploration. And so it kind of becomes like, hey, did you discover this secret? Did you discover that secret? You discovered this dungeon or this temple or that, whatever. And ultimately, you have to do it all to beat the game. But I think the idea of having this new Zelda where when you're sitting around with your friends talking about your experience, all of them is going to be much more wildly different rather than, I got to this point, it was cool. I got to that point, it was cool. It'll be like, hey, this is how I got to this area. This is how I fought this enemy. And it becomes much more personalized in terms of experience. It's not just like watching a movie saying, this scene was neat. It's going to be like, holy crap, I ran my horse over this bridge and accidentally fell off and landed on this mountain and, climbed down the inside, and that's how I got to dungeon whatever. So I'm excited to hear everybody's different experiences with a game like this.
It's definitely got people excited.
Yeah, very talked about, very, very fun. And I think it looks great, too. It looks beautiful. So I'm personally very pumped. What else was discussed? So not much Nintendo's in. I know they're sort of trickling things out, and I'm sure a Direct will be coming in the next several months, probably by October, with NX information as well as like some holiday plans. But we had Sony had a pretty good showing of stuff the other day. I was excited to see what they had.
No.
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 No. So let's see.
No, you were not.
I was not excited. They showed the new God of War, which it's interesting because they're really changing up the gameplay mechanics of this. It basically looks like Resident Evil 4, The Last of Us behind-the-shoulder view, tank controls, which is not exactly thrilling to me, but if they make it work in its own context, okay, cool. But it's not going to be like a Devil May Cry hack and slash anymore at this point. They're sort of rewriting the conventions of the game, and you're fighting Norse mythology as speculated. So I'm pretty pumped to sort of see how that one goes. We've got Final Fantasy 15 coming out in about 3 months, which I'm excited for.
Definitely.
And then right after that, we actually have The Last Guardian, which is kind of surreal because it's one of those things where, like, it wasn't like Duke Nukem Vaporware to me, where they were like, hey, we're going to make this game, and then it never really showed up until 10 years later. Because I never really saw recurring iterations of Duke Nukem. I just heard that a Duke Nukem game was being made.
Yeah.
Last Guardian was shown in, like, what, 2009, I think?
If not earlier.
If not earlier, right, exactly. So, and it looks almost identical then to how it does now. Obviously, a little bit more power, but it's fundamentally the same looking game. But it's funny to think of the development limbo that this underwent, and now it's actually almost here.
Yep.
About 4 months for that one. Let's see. A new Resident Evil was announced, which looks like it's taking a lot of cues from PT.
It looks really good. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I downloaded the demo, and I haven't actually played it yet. I was going to try playing it tonight as well, and maybe do like a little stream of me trying it out and seeing how it was. But I'm very excited that they're taking it in a new direction. So, because people, didn't like 4, 5, and 6, or some people liked that, not the originals. But I'm excited. I'm always excited for them to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
So this to me is just sort of like, hey, it might not work, but if it does and it's awesome, that's what the series may have needed. So I'm pumped. What else do we have? There was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because this is one of my favorite parts about showcasing things in a specific way, is that they announce Infinite Warfare, everybody goes, oh, this looks stupid, I don't like the way this game is presented, and then suddenly Sony shows this 3-minute long trailer of people fighting in space, and everybody goes, holy crap, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And then at the end it goes, Infinite Warfare, you were wrong. And so interesting to see how that works, but it looks interesting. I probably won't put much into it, but it's cool that it looks more interesting now.
If nothing else, they offer pretty tight, satisfying single-player experiences that don't last very long.
Sure.
Like if it's a series that if you can get something from it for a decent price, why not?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But it's nice that it looks like it's more incentive now to grab that, in addition to getting the Modern Warfare remaster.
Yeah.
So at least you're going to be getting probably a good bang for your buck by having both of those. So, what else did they show? There's a couple other things I think were very exciting. Didn't show anything on Final Fantasy VII. I'd imagine they're going to have more on that next year once they can refocus after 15 comes out.
A lot of people are predicting Tokyo Game Show to really kind of.
Oh, that's right. Sure.
Focus on that.
Mm-hmm. What if Nintendo brought back Shoshinkai?
It seems like a not prudent venture
no, not
for them right now. Yeah, I'd be on board because I've always liked Shoshinkai, but
yeah, probably not going to happen. And then a bunch of Sony VR stuff that was teased.
Okay, what about this? What if there was a convention for just Dynasty Warriors games? And there's no exhibits or walls. It's just a big cloud of people running around. And one guy who was holding the game, before it's released, and if you can get to him, you can have the game.
So here's the thing: is everybody have to wear activator vests, and all he has is something that emits a super loud noise that blows you backwards.
Yeah, or it's laser tag. He's got some kind of laser woo-boo spear, and if he hits you with it, then you can't get the game.
The laser tag style vest should have straight up tasers built in, so it actually incapacitates you in full. So you fall over and start freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. I think that's the next big thing once VR hits. Zapping people into a coma in their living room. I'm going to ask you a question right now. Because it's not that I dislike the game, but Street Fighter V fell off the map.
Yeah.
What's the scoop?
Well, it fell off the map, I think, for a lot of people who aren't trying to be pros, basically, because there's so much money behind it that if you want to go to tournaments and compete, those people are playing Street Fighter V all the time. That's what's hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
But a botched launch mixed with certain aspects. Someone found out that the game has built-in input lag. No matter what you use, there's 8 frames of input lag.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
And so people told Capcom about this, and you'd think that they'd be like, oh, uh-oh.
Right.
But their response is, we're looking into it.
We're looking into the thing we programmed.
Yeah.
Purposefully.
Because to me, when I found out about this, I thought, well, they really doubled down on making this a much simpler to play game.
Sure.
Than Street Fighter 4 was. So when I found out about it, I thought well, it's a feature then. That's just what they intended. But the fact that they're well, we may or may not address it tells me that what's really going on there. And you can't buy anything with real money yet. The game's been out for I think 3 or 4 months, and they have not been able to get a real money storefront running in that time.
Nothing yet. Nope. Yeah. It's kind of nice though, because it seems like they're really holding that close to their chest, because I think they're if we do this, we might screw ourselves. And so at this point, they should say season 1 straight up.
It's free.
It's free. You get all these characters. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. When season 2 comes out, we'll readdress, and reestablish. But at this point, as an act of good faith, it very much feels like for $60, you should just say first year of content is free because
Yeah, and
something
every
went
day
wrong.
that they don't announce that, it makes me angrier and angrier. Because I'm like, guys, your game just doesn't work right.
The story mode's supposed to be out at the end of this month, right?
Yeah, Ibuki and story mode, and I'm told possibly an arcade mode. And with Ibuki, they're supposed to launch the real money store as well, I think. Like, basically, this month is supposed to be the month where Street Fighter V, the full game, happens.
That's weird. That's 3 months post-launch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's... because
I just generally, like, I don't find the game that satisfying to play. Like, from a pure, like, enjoyment value, I don't find the game that interesting. It doesn't hold my attention. And a big part of that is that the only characters that I enjoy playing are not equipped to handle most of the cast. Like, they're generally low-tier characters.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, play Third Strike.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So, let's see. If they announce a collaboration with Sony and they release Street Fighter V VR, will that make a difference for you?
How would like Bushido Blade?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I would try it.
I would too. It wouldn't make sense at all when you're jumping and flipping and getting knocked down. It'd be the most difficult thing ever, but I would try it too.
Yeah.
Maybe you just watch replays in VR. And while you're playing,
like you play one of the guys in the background of the stage, it's like jumping up and down.
Yeah, exactly. You just, my fight money, and it slips out through your hand. You lose your bet. Yeah.
I'd do that.
I would too. Did you know that Bryan Cranston did the voice of Fei Long in the Street Fighter 2 animated movie?
I did. I did know that.
It's good because I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, man, I'm trying to remember what lines he has.
Very few. I think he has like 2 lines.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I'm watching Breaking Bad again, and I love that show. And I think about like his character and like what it has evolved into. And then I've also been watching the polar opposite, which is Malcolm in the Middle. And it's interesting to think of like anybody, what's the dude who Vince Gilligan, looking at like who are we going to turn into like this meth empire badass? And he goes, "What about the dad from Malcolm in the Middle?" And he's not wrong in casting him because he's perfect, but it's weird because I wonder what makes you think, like, what if we got Matthew Broderick, choose some
what about
kind of like,
Matt LeBlanc?
Matt LeBlanc, he's going to be this kingpin. Yeah. VR, though, I'm curious about Sony's, and I like some of what they're going to be doing with it. Biggest fear is that we're going to get a whole bunch of, like, full-priced apps, as it were.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of games that support VR right now that I am very interested in. I didn't think that would be the case.
Yeah.
But it's impossible for me to look at this situation as anything more than the next Kinect/Move.
100%, because Microsoft, like with the new Model S Xbox, it was basically like, oh, there's no Kinect port. You have to buy like an adapter or whatever, because like they've basically just thrown the Kinect in the garbage already.
Yep.
And that's kind of a shame because the new Kinect is better. It's good, but it's still, even as a built-in device with your system, nobody used it.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. So, yeah, I fear the same for VR, but I like it when they have a game that implements it as a bonus feature. Like Resident Evil 7 doesn't need it, but hey, if you have this, your experience is going to be extremely different. And I like that. Final Fantasy 15 has it, and it looks very tacked on, but as long as it's not a mandatory thing, it's just like a fun bonus, whatever. Okay.
It feels like, and it's funny that you bring up Street Fighter V VR, because it feels like to me, what's happening is Sony's like knocking on every developer's door, and they're like, "Hey, remember when we loaned you that money a year ago to make this game? Put
yeah, yeah. No. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I'm excited for it. It seems like some companies are really going to be utilizing it well.
The new Spider-Man game.
Holy crap. Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
really
looks
cool.
very satisfying.
It does. It looks very fun, and getting Insomniac, who's very good with gameplay mechanics, to get something like that down is a really cool choice. It must be fun, I think, to be a developer of like that sort of accolade and get like a major license like that. But also, isn't this also like a very large like, hey, Microsoft, guess what? And like they pull out like the biggest red middle finger because it's just this is clearly going to be a Sony, exclusive game.
Well, that just means that Microsoft is going to make sure that Injustice 2 only comes out on Xbox One.
You're going to try, yeah.
Like basically every brand that competes with a different brand, it's just going to line up. It's going to be like Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Just on like two sides of the street. Oh, well, you made Pepsi Man 2 for the PS4, but we've got like Coca-Cola's big connected venture for the Xbox One.
But it's cool because in the sense it reminds me of the Genesis Super Nintendo days where it was software versus software.
Yeah.
And except for like on a scale that is less thrilling.
Right.
And more expensive. Yeah. What did Microsoft show? New Gears of War. Scalebound, which I'm excited for.
Scalebound looks great.
I will play. We'll play that because we're going to co-op that game.
Yeah.
They showed something else that was pretty exciting.
They showed more of Recore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Recore was there.
There
was something else though that I was pretty excited about. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I'm kind of the wrong person to ask because I really don't follow E3 that closely anleanymore because I don't buy a lot of new games anymore. I don't really have the budget for it.
Sure.
So what I need is like E3 years ago.
Oh, I like
where
that.
It's like, here's all the games that you can get at GameStop for $5 right now.
We should do that actually. As every E3 is do E3 years ago. Check out a list of what came out in 2013 and be like, hey, is it still good? Did it live up to this? Let's talk about this and maybe you should go buy it. It's kind of a fun idea.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something else. I'm like, Dead Rising 4. That one is extreme. That's probably the most appealing game of the Microsoft show for me is Dead Rising 4. So that's one I'll be picking up immediately because I like that series a lot. So, so E3, it's been good this year. I don't know if there's any news on Kingdom Hearts. I know they had just announced something about 2 weeks ago with 2.8 that had like another trailer to lead up to 3. And I think they said 3 is early next year. I think April. I'm not sure if I read that correctly or if I remember.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So that's sort of what's going on with that. New Phoenix Wright's coming out. Just a handful of like a good steady supply of games that are coming out throughout the rest of the year. And I'm okay with that. And the big thing is Microsoft is also announcing a lot of cross-platform play and cross-platform purchasing with a ton of their Xbox One games. Most stuff that comes out from them anyway will be available on PC and, from what I understand, playable on both like Gears co-op or Gears multiplayer. You can play. And that's cool. I'm glad they're really embracing that. Apparently, they also announced, I think today, they're going to be getting keyboard and mouse support ready for the Xbox One in the very near future.
It's good.
So, in essence, the Xbox One is basically just a sort of hey, goodbye to consoles. We're just basically becoming a super PC.
Yeah.
So, it's a progression that sort of makes sense for them. So, all right. Breakfast, though.
Yeah.
You don't. So, if you do eat breakfast, what what is the breakfast that you eat?
I like a skillet. I like something with a lot of like cubed potatoes that are a little crunchy on the outside. I have an unpopular opinion, and that is that I'm done with bacon. Like if you're gonna give me bacon, fine, but I'm not gonna order something specifically because it has bacon on it, and I'm not gonna put bacon on something
that does not already have bacon.
Yeah, pretty much.
You'll just sort of let bacon be, and if it's there, cool, and if it's not, cool.
Yeah, like I don't think bacon is 10% of how excited people because there's like festivals now, right? They'll have like, it's the bacon and beer festival, and that's like why? Like why have we elevated bacon to all bacon does is make whatever you're eating taste like bacon.
Yeah.
But there's
It's weird. Yeah, I don't add bacon to anything either. I think it's fine, but I don't really much go out of my way. I don't ever buy bacon. I don't cook bacon. But like if I order the double Western bacon from Carl's Jr., okay, it just happens to be on
great.
there. But I'm
Yeah.
fine without it even being a primary component.
Yeah, if they had like the double Western no bacon for like $1 less, I'd get that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and nothing against it, but yeah, it's interesting the fandom that meat has. Speaking of, we had a really great conversation last night that I think we should elaborate on, which is I was talking to a friend of mine, and I told her, I said, I sell microchips for a living. I sell microchips filled with 4K to 64 megs of data on a regular basis to people, and that's my job. And then I thought about what if you could make like a Dorito that was somehow able to store even 4K of data. You put this Dorito in your system, and somehow it can scan it and go, oh, that's Super Mario Brothers 1.
Yeah.
There has to be a way, right? And you suggested protein, meaning that you think that a beef jerky, like a Slim Jim or Jack Link's or something, I'm not sure which is
I think a Slim Jim would be better because it's a uniform shape, right?
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah, you wouldn't want
a Jack Link's, and there's like different size pieces, and some are thicker and some are thinner.
Yeah, like oh boy, Oberto is like a big bag of your random, wedges.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's using Jack Link's or Slim Jim or something like that. Slim Jim could contain just Genesis games and.
So I'm looking for like if there already is some kind of food-based
video game. Or data
storage medium.
Okay.
And all I found is this YouTube video of a guy pouring dog food onto a spinning hard drive.
So maybe not yet. Maybe it's not the right time, and we're the proprietors of this.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel there's a lot of missed opportunity for weird storage devices. It's like the old episode of South Park, where they had the Okama Game Sphere, and I think like the discs were just like orbs of data. I don't remember. Yeah. And I like the idea of having something arbitrary, being able to supplement a video game's existence. Memory rewriting, so that way you could, like, if you're playing Halo, you can save your character onto your beef jerky, and then, you have to decide if you eat your character or if you take it to your friend's house and play over there and stick your beef jerky in his Xbox.
What if you let your friend eat your character?
Does he? You're a very good friend. What if you give it to like a homeless military vet and he eats Master Chief and all your stats? Yeah.
See, this is why I worry is that if you let someone borrow a game and they lose it, like that sucks.
Yeah.
If you invited your dad over for the weekend and he didn't know that you'd switch to an all food-based video game library, and he woke up and he was like, I gotta have breakfast, and he finds like your box of Wheat Thins that's actually like
your Game Boy collection.
Yeah.
He just starts eating just Tailgater and Milon's Secret Castle.
I got an interesting question. I'm gonna adapt the question that I got to be more conversational. But what do you do when your Slim Jim runs out of storage space? If you take a bite out of, like, if you have a Slim Jim that has Chrono Trigger on it and you eat a quarter of it, do you only get one save file?
Well, are Slim Jims rewritable? That's the
you have to get the Slim Jim RW for that. That's a special.
Oh, okay. So what if you could buy like the Slim Jim and you pop it in your Super Nintendo or whatever? Could you get like Bakos or something and pour it in like the storage bowl and have it like suck into the system, and then that's where your data is rewritten?
So you just fill your system with Bakos, like it's like an expansion pack. Yeah,
exactly. It's just extra memory.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need sort of a memory card type unit, which you can choose just whatever kind of meat you wanted, as long as it's dense enough to be recognized by the meat reader. Yeah, I think what's really cool about this is no matter how ridiculous we're being in discussing this, there is probably some genuine means out there where somebody with enough money could help us do this.
Yeah. Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I love it. We should change it to yogurt, but we can do it.
Does yogurt contain data?
Yogurt is, well, because it contains life. So yogurt is really the most...
the ultimate data.
Yeah. DNA.
Oh, what if you could store games in your blood?
So like depending on what blood type you are, is like if you're a Nintendo fan or like a Microsoft fan.
Yeah.
Like I want to play the new Halo, but I'm blood type A negative.
Yeah, so you can't unless you're type O.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Would
problem.
you have to like withdraw the blood?
Yeah.
Or are you just like experiencing all games at once?
Well, what you could do is you could like take a culture and then like play the demo, and it's like a single game at a time. So basically, you would like get all the information from say like Maximo, and you could like get it injected into your bloodstream, and then if like you ever die, they could go get like a sample of your blood and be like, this guy is Maximo, you know.
What if that's how they make games?
It's like just withdraw blood. So like every single one of us when we're born is injected with random data. And
John, what if I'm a shitty game?
That's I don't know. I will never say that you are shitty. Somebody's gonna like you. You know, even the shittiest game has a fan.
I could be Dead Island.
I still play that game a lot, despite the many flaws. That's fair.
Oh, yeah, it made me think that like this is like blood doping though, where it's like I want to play this game. I have Hot Shots Golf inside of me.
So you have to like,
but I want to play Castlevania, so I have to drain all of my blood.
Ooh.
And refill myself with someone else's blood.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah,
you could do that. I'll let you. This podcast took a weird turn, is what Nico said. It did. It went from E3 to blood storage.
Yeah.
That's. I don't think you'd be a bad game. I think you get to choose your game too. Like if you went to the doctors, they could give you whatever you wanted.
Oh, so you're just like, yeah, I'm really tired. I'm really tired all the time. Can you give me an exciting game?
Yeah, exactly. Turns you into Mad World. Yeah.
Doc, I'm having a hard time breathing. Can you find a game that doesn't have as many water levels?
I was gonna say Banjo-Kazooie, but that's not true. Oh, by the way, Ukulele. Yes. Looks so solid.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game.
I'm very pumped for that. That's going to be a good one. And Playtonic is apparently handling the Wii U version, so they're handling the primary, development on the Wii U. And I think Team 17, if I'm not mistaken, is doing
yes,
everything else, all the other ports.
Yeah, it's basically the most English thing you can imagine.
Yeah, it's as British as it possibly gets. Yeah, I'm super excited for that. Grant Kirkhope is not disappointing. All the music I've heard so far is spectacular. It looks great. So is there anything that you wanted them to show at E3 or that you're curious about, that you have more questions about, anything you're concerned about as far as anything they have shown?
Well, I was really curious. They didn't show Star Tropics 3 for the 22nd year in a row.
They did, yeah, something. I wonder what happened, yeah.
So that's strange.
Well, Kamishima's only been in office for like less than a year, right?
Yeah. So he's gotten at least like 300 letters from me.
Yeah, exactly. That's one per day. It's I think just wait till the launch of the NX. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Yeah. So if you could have the system launch with any one sequel of your choice, what would it be?
The NX?
The NX.
Wii Music 2. No, all right. Well, I don't know what the system does, right? Like, I'm not expecting a core gaming system because it's Nintendo.
That's true. So we don't know what the fundamentals are gonna be. But if you had to choose and say, I want the most optimal experience. So say for sake of argument, if you did choose Star Tropics 3,
yeah,
that you could be like, this is going to be the definitive version, whatever their mechanic is, whether it's motion controlled yo-yo or Mike Jones has like VR inserts over his eyeballs or whatever. You know, who
The
knows
lawn,
yet?
the lawnmower, Mike Jones.
Exactly. He's just been consumed by technology. What kind of game would you choose? Like if you were to sort of relaunch the most optimal version of your favorite game?
Well, I don't know if it would be my favorite game. You know, there's some things that Nintendo's done a long time ago that I would like to see them do. You know what? Metal Combat 3, Battle Clash 3.
That'd be sweet. I just sold a copy of that to a dude the other day.
Did you
And
tell him it was the sweetest light gun game ever?
I did actually. I said if you don't have a light gun, because he said he picked it up and he had Metal Combat and Track and Field 2, both in box, both complete. And he was like, which of these is better? And I said, well, if you don't have a light gun, Track and Field 2 because you can't play Metal Combat. But if you have a light gun, Metal Combat is wonderful beyond words. So it was an interesting sort of sales pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Track and Field 2, for what it's worth, is really good. But
Track and Field 2 hurts me. Physically hurts me. I can't play that game. It makes my hands hurt in a way that no other video game does. Like, there's a video game that involved like slapping pin cushions.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't hurt my hands as much as Track and Field 2 does.
Which event makes your hands hurt? All of it?
Pretty much. Like fencing doesn't. Fencing is very straightforward. But I think like swimming is I think very hard on the old digit holes.
Yeah, that's the digit hole.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's creepy.
That's my new bar.
The digit hole?
Yeah.
So Nico says, well, hey, Star Tropics 1 and 2 were released on the Wii U Virtual Console recently, so Nintendo still knows it's a thing. Michael.
Do they?
I think one of like their interns must have snuck in there like at nighttime, like when all the staff members had gone home and was like, did like a secret Virtual Console release, and then like Reggie woke up in the morning, he was like, what the hell is this? And he just was like, oh.
I think what happened is the guy that they have like in charge of uploading just ROMs to the Virtual Console, like their boss knocked on their door and it was like Friday at like 4:30, and he's like, you gotta upload 2 games. And he's like, shit, and he just like just found like the closest folder and just threw it on there.
Yeah, it's S folder. Yeah, probably. Which is a shame because well, it's not a shame actually. I might re-download those and play through those again because I really like Star Tropics, but. Who knows if Mike Jones, I don't foresee it ever happening, which makes me sad, but I never thought it was going to happen to Kid Icarus, never thought it would happen to Punch-Out, and hey, things happen, but Star Tropics is arguably the least important of Nintendo's like IPs to them, so that's too bad. And Nico also mentions that, hell yes, I recently beat Metal Combat on hard mode, very challenging, such an amazing title with the best and underrated SNES soundtrack, would love more of that series. Yeah, with the Wii U, using like Wii remote controls, a new Metal Combat on like a hardcore graphics engine would be so much cooler than anything. Though, if anybody here hasn't had a chance to check it out yet, I would highly recommend going and snagging a copy of Sin and Punishment for the Wii if you get the chance.
I do have that. I haven't played it yet, but I do have it.
Very solid, extremely good. It works extremely well with the Wii remote setup.
Yeah. We busted out. I've had it on the Wii U. I had not played it yet. I think I played a little bit at your house originally, but in a multiplayer environment, I had never played Nintendo Land.
Oh yeah.
And I had some friends over on Sunday, and we were supposed to have like a movie night. And what ended up happening is she was like, "Oh, do you have Yoshi's Woolly World?" And I was like, "I do." She's like, "I want to play that game really bad." So we popped it in, and I was like, "Well, I don't want to have the TV all to myself." And I was like, "Okay, well, I happen to have 4 Wiimotes. How about we play some Nintendo Land? How about we try this out?" Mm-hmm. And it was frustrating because, again, I had never played it. So, like, Monata was up, like, just constantly shoving tutorials at me the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
It's
everyone in the room really enjoyed playing it.
I honestly think it's one of the coolest multiplayer games because they're very simple to get into. Not a lot of explanation is needed, even if Monita, like, really enforces it. But I was talking about that with somebody the other day and thinking about how I think almost all the games on Nintendo Land. They're all just really fun and, by yourself, whatever. But if you've got friends to play with, it's a very worthwhile little collection.
Yeah.
Well, what's one of your favorites that's on there?
I think the one that we got the most enjoyment out of was the Mario Chase.
That one's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Metroid one is great too because getting to co-op, because essentially that one is not every man for himself. It's all like working in tandem, 5-player co-op essentially.
Unfortunately, we couldn't play that one because I don't have any Motion Plus.
Oh, well, let me know, and
So,
I can help you out with that for next time.
okay.
But it's really good. It's thank you. It's really, really, really good. Nico says, sad we never got that DLC or any other mini games for Nintendo Land. Really could have pushed that game further with DLC. And I agree, because once you play through most of the games on there, that's just sort of it. But if they would have expanded like new maps for like Luigi's Mansion or the Mario Chase game, like they could have done a lot of really great extra stuff. Because again, it's really, really good. But
yeah,
it was just sort of an introductory title, and there was a lot of issues with the launch of the Wii U as it was, which is unfortunate. So I'm sad that never happened. The little Donkey Kong game
the
is really
system can launch anymore without like going through severe growing pains.
God, it doesn't seem like it because I haven't seen it happen in so long.
Yeah, I want to say like the PS2 maybe was like kind of the last and the first.
Yeah,
because of all the discrete error problems.
Yeah, it might have been.
Plus, like people were really not having that launch title, like what they had, like Tekken Tag and
Ridge Racer. Yeah, it was not very, very robust.
It felt like the PS1 launch, but with like sequels.
Right. Yeah.
But the PS1 launch was more exciting because there was a lot of like new IP and like new like arcade ports and things that people didn't have access to in any way before.
I'm going to tell you something, Michael. So I was came home from work today, sat on the couch, and took a little bit of a nap, and turned on the Wii U.
So this is an exciting story so far.
So far, it's pretty good. Yeah, just eating dinner and taking a nap. I turned on the Wii U, and I loaded up the main menu, and I was like, you know what? I really like this. It's very comforting, very nostalgic. I remember, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, right? Was it 2012? No. Yeah, it was 2012 that this launched. And I really liked, I was so excited for the Wii U and waiting in line, playing the games and getting all excited. And turning it on, and like, I turned it on today, and I was like, this experience is exactly the same. The menu's the same, the Miiverse thing is the same, the channel selection's the same. And I kind of was sad that there was never really a push to evolve that into something a little bit more robust. Because I remember, turning on my Xbox 360 for the first time, and that to me was mind-blowing. They had, different channels of, here's your games, here's your friends, here's your settings, here's the online store. And it was like this really cool integrated thing. But then within, a couple of years, they updated, and it was much more functional. And then again, they updated more, and they added the avatars, and they added these new types of shades, and they added like the boxy Windows 8 kind of things. And they kept evolving it through the system's life. PlayStation 3, I think, got like a small upgrade. Maybe, because it was the cross-media bar the whole time?
Yes.
So it was the PSP that didn't have that originally, and then it got the cross-media bar. Is that correct?
No, I think the PSP had the cross-media bar the whole time, too.
I thought they evolved that from one point. Maybe I don't remember. Anyway, not much evolution there either, but then I thought the Xbox One did the same thing. They had their main setup, and then within a couple of years, they adopted a brand new sort of visual interface. And I kind of like the excitement of getting sort of a brand new OS on your system.
Yeah. At the same time, like I wish you could choose like themes.
Yeah.
Because I remember with the Xbox 360 with the blades, like it was very minimalist. Like there wasn't a lot you could do, but at the same time, like you'd see a banner ad for like Doritos, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And then like now with the current Xbox 360 interface, I don't know what the last 3 pages are for, if not like Dr. Pepper ads.
That's yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was very clear cut with the original launch of the 360, with your integration of online and setup and everything. And it was kind of nice that it was very streamlined. It was quick. There was like 5 options, and all of them were very easy to navigate. And it does get kind of convoluted, and there is a lot of sort of just nonsense at this point, and ads, and hey, click here for gold, and all that kind of stuff. So the simplicity is good, but yeah, I think it would be nice to be able to like integrate something brand new and have it look more fully featured, but still be concise. I don't know if that's something anybody's concerned about, but I like the idea of upgrading, formats and things of that nature. Even the 3DS has the little the badge arcade where you can like decorate your background and your home screen, and you can download themes and stuff.
Yeah.
And even that's kind of cool. So, you know.
So if they announced a new Wii U firmware that was like sponsored by Ford,
yeah,
and you had to like get into a little like RC truck and drive to the content you wanted to access, like dodging Mii's in the truck.
So it's actually a racing simulation to get to like the Nintendo Wii eShop.
Yeah, but it takes like 2 minutes to get there.
Oh, because it's like an actual like cityscape course or whatever.
Yeah, like I want to see what kind of Nintendo games I could buy. Well, if you want to do that at like a brick and mortar store, like you can't just do that.
Yeah, you have to drive to the store and do it. Or you could like take like the virtual bus and it takes like 5 minutes.
But you don't have to interact with it. You could just like hit the button and then like go make some food.
Yeah,
and then if you don't come back in time, the bus passes the stop and you wind up at the Miiverse.
Right, and you have to I love this idea so much. I wish, because the thing is, like, if this were an optional thing, I would totally use it. I'd get sick of it after a couple of weeks or whatever, but I would still totally use it. To play a game to like interact with all your stuff, I think it would be a lot of fun. Wouldn't make any sense. I would do it. Metroid Prime, you have to like lock on and like read.
You have to scan like a dinosaur to access virtual console content.
Exactly. You have to kill the dinosaur to even like access the game after you've purchased it.
Yeah.
So you have to like beat a boss, and then the game is in your library, but you still have to pay money for it. Yeah, I do like the idea of things evolving naturally. I know a lot of people aren't as into this, but I love change. I embrace change. I want things to change. And it's not that I want things to be so different that they're unrecognizable, but I want things to invoke the same kind of emotions and feelings you get from your first experience, but in a new way, And this has been brought up so many times before, but the reason they didn't want to make Final Fantasy VII again, and producers, I can't remember if it was Nomura or other folks who had said this, they didn't just want to make the same game. They wanted to make a new game that made people feel like they did when they played Final Fantasy VII. So it's sort of tapping into what is that magical formula, but in a new capacity. Mm-hmm. And that's what I hope for a lot of games. So, I saw some stuff online tonight, people talking about the new Paper Mario, which is more paint themed. And people want tradition. People want the same. People want, well, why can't we just have a Fire Emblem that's a new Fire Emblem for the Wii U? Why can't we have a Paper Mario that's just Paper Mario for the Wii U? But one of the big things is, and sure, it's still somewhat polarizing, is that E3, like 2002, I believe, it was 2002 or 2003. They had Mario Sunshine. They had Metroid Prime. Maybe 2001. It was a long time ago. But Metroid Prime, Wind Waker, Mario Sunshine, games in a series, but with radical changes to the formula, Mario being probably the most conservative of those. Mm-hmm. And people were really pissed because they didn't like the way Wind Waker looked. They didn't like the idea of Metroid going to a first person. But then once the game hit, everybody went, oh, that makes sense. And I love it. Now they're like crazy cult classics.
And the only one of those three that I like is Wind Waker.
Yeah, that's fair. And I know a lot of people that do not like Sunshine at all. So like that's actually probably the least enjoyed from my experience talking to people. I like all three of them, but I know a lot of people who would say that Sunshine is their least favorite of that sort of trilogy. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting because Wind Waker is now considered a crazy classic.
Yeah, it's like one of the best games the series has ever had.
Yeah, and people were very obstinate about its appearance from the first trailer. So I think, defying convention is going to be good, and I think that's what Nintendo needs to continue to do. I don't think it's going to alienate things. Oh, they mentioned Federation Force as well, which, again, I also know people aren't happy with that. I'm pumped.
It's kind of the same way that they addressed it, too. It's like, also Federation Force.
Yeah, no, it's true. It was very underhandedly discussed. I don't even think they talked about it this year. They're kind of like, that game's still coming out. And, I'll buy it, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where he's got to give everything a shot, because I even looked at the new God of War and I was like, this doesn't look as fun to me as God of War, because there's a certain kind of convention that game displays, and it's now being changed.
Yeah.
But my idea is, if this can make me feel excited in a different way, because you have a new mythology and you have a new style of gameplay, that's cool because it could still be just as good in a new manner. And so I am very excited to embrace that entirely. Plus, actually, the other God of Wars started to wear on me after a while, and it was so formulaic that eventually I was kind of like, well, play God of War 3.
We're at the point that if they announced like an Assassin's Creed kart racer, I'd be like, well, that's a fresh idea. Like,
yeah, at least it's, exactly. I'd be more into that. I'm actually kind of glad and surprised they didn't announce a new Assassin's Creed this year, unless they did and I missed it. But I don't think that would have happened. Because dang, yeah, it keeps going. And to people who like Assassin's Creed, that's awesome. But I let that ship sail long ago, that Black Flag ship.
Hey,
whoa. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited for newness, and I think halfway through this console generation, where they're announcing their new Scorpio machines and their PlayStation Neos and NXs and stuff, I think you got to defy convention a bit because it really is same old, and that gets stagnant. So,
do you think Nintendo could put off the NX to be more in line hardware-wise with the Scorpio and the Neo? Like they could probably the Wii U is not going to float. It's just not.
No, unfortunately.
But do you think that they could just kind of let it stagnate, focus on the 3DS, and get the NX more on par with the competition?
I wondered if that's the reason they chose not to show it at E3, because the rumblings of Scorpio and PS4 and Neo, came out before E3, and I wonder if Nintendo thought, before we show anything and we say this is definitive, let's reevaluate where we're at hardware-wise with this system and see if this truly is, going to be in line with what our competitors will be putting out in the near future. And I don't know. I think it would be a wise decision. I can't even imagine what's in the cards for the NX at this point. But Ubisoft seems to have a lot of faith in it. They said, this is really going to help bring back a lot of the audience that was lost after the Wii's initial success. So, maybe they're just talking super friendly PR. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, they tried to be early adopters with the Wii U also, and then after a year, they were just like, nah.
They put a lot of effort into the launch, and then that wasn't worthwhile, sadly. So, though I love Zombie U, and I think I love Zombie U. No, Rayman, that was the one. The Rayman was also really, really solid. It just sucks how much money they lost on those games because they were both very good. Yeah. So I'm hoping for the best. I'm always hoping for the best for everybody. I don't like seeing this company won E3 because gamers. I want the gamers to win E3. I want the options that we have to be so robust that no matter who you are, there's something for you. And whatever venue you choose to venture down, there's something exciting for you to play. I don't like the mindset of it being, well, these guys are the best. And they might be to your personal tastes, but ultimately, if gamers can get good content all around, we have 8,000 restaurants in the city. The food critics win. It's not like Burger King is on fucking top, right? Yeah, it's the people who want to eat. Those are the winners. Yeah, that's the bottom line. So I'm excited for everybody who has the opportunity to enjoy even more new games in every single way, whatever system it's going to be on, whether it's PC or console or cell phone. Shit, even Microsoft announcing, and it's so weird how long after the fact this is, that Minecraft is still a thing, like tremendously a thing.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind still. But they announced cross-compatibility with phones and PC and Xbox One and 360 all in one. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like, the fact that can still be a relevant announcement, and to some people they might go, oh, who cares about Minecraft? And a lot of people is the answer. That's how many people care about Minecraft. So, that game still sells like 50,000 copies a day or something absurd. I don't know. We still get kids asking for it all the time. They come into my store. They're still wearing T-shirts. It's not like Angry Birds that sort of, like came and went.
Yeah.
Minecraft is still around. So, I don't know.
I'm going to wait for Minecraft 2.
Okay, perfect. I'll wait for it as well.
Yeah.
What if
it's
you
the
did
same game, but everything is orb? It's spherical instead of
Orbcraft? You just can't build buildings.
Like the developers of Balls are going to join up with Mojang and make Minecraft with a Z too.
Oh, it's going to have cool synthesized voices.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. And if you try to build a house, like it just tumbles all over the street.
Yeah, you can stack it all up in edit mode, and then when the second you go back to the game, it just
everything physics everywhere. Just a sea of balls. Notch has made a lot of money, and I wonder if he hadn't sold to Microsoft at this point, how much money he'd be making.
I think he sold at the right point because like he made a lot of money.
That's true. I guess they
and a
bought
lot
it
of
out
people
for,
were like, "Yeah, I'm kind of done with Minecraft," and then he sold it to Microsoft.
Yeah, that's fair. Dude made a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's how you do it. You never know. But I'm glad that that's going strong. I will never want anything video game related to fail. I don't think there's ever any a time that's going to come where I'm going to be like, I hope this company tanks. Unless it's somebody who has a super shitty business practice that is like genuinely bad for the industry, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like,
did you see that a sequel to Bad Rats was announced at E3 this year?
No. Who's doing this?
The same people.
Why?
I don't know, but like my friend who turned me on to Bad Rats,
right,
kind of made me aware of it. He said that enough people like bought it ironically as gifts during Steam sales for like 10 cents that they had the money to do a sequel. And the trailer is like 3 minutes long and it's musical and it's the worst thing.
Wow.
It's so hard to watch. But
wow.
Yeah, Bad Rats show was announced at this year's E3.
Damn. Okay, well, this is an amazing industry we live in. This is our habit. This is our hobby.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. Okay, so Bad Rats 2. They didn't show more Shaq Fu 2.
No, I haven't heard a peep about Shaq Fu 2 in quite some time.
It was the Video Game Awards, right? It was the last time they showed it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What else? Dang. Stardew Valley confirmed for consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Doritos Mix Arcade on Twitch.
What?
There's like they built this giant Dorito arcade cabinet, and if you buy like bags of Doritos, you can get codes to control it. You get like a turn on Twitch, and you can win prizes.
Oh no! Oh, I see. Okay, I was gonna say this is coming dangerously close to our copyright infringement for for what we're doing.
No, yeah, you don't.
Okay.
The chips themselves do not contain any gameplay.
Okay, we're good then. All right, I was gonna go burn down some industry buildings. Okay. Dang. All right. There was something else I was gonna talk to you about that was interesting to me. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. I don't even know. I don't even know what video games are.
They're kind of like guitars.
Oh, cool. I love guitars.
Yeah.
I guess I'd like video games then.
Yeah, so someone will like show up to a college party with a video game that like and just play it. Like not participate in the party, he'll just like sit outside and hook up his video game and start playing it and try to impress girls that way.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah.
In my New York penthouse.
Well, yeah, from that kind of view, it's hard not to be impressed.
Yeah, just playing my Game Boy out the window and letting the breeze roll down my shirt.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay. Celebrity appearances. Oh yeah. What Conan O'Brien was there. I'm trying to think if like they were talking about anything like big or impressive or exciting. Oh, I know something that I was interested in talking about. It's from a couple weeks ago. There was a developer. I don't remember what game they were doing, and they had made some mention of not supporting LBGT rights or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
They made a very public proclamation standing against it, which, hey, that's, you can say whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want. Everybody has the right to do that. But everybody else also has the right to respond to that, is the other thing. That's the catch to you being able to say whatever you want, is that people can express themselves accordingly. So it was a interesting thing to do because I very rarely, if ever, put politics into anything that I do business-wise ever. You know, I think people know where I stand with things, but I don't ever like post it really on like, you know, the Facebook page or anything of that sort, because it's not that I'm afraid of people's opinions or anything like that, but I also believe it doesn't exactly belong in the workplace. I will stand against discrimination, like actively for anything. But I used to drive by a restaurant called like Monroe's all the time. They're like right down the street from me, and they always would have signs that were very much like Obama sucks, get some red chili or whatever. And it was like, you should probably not do that, Like,
Yeah.
That's weird for business.
Unless you offer something that literally nobody else does.
Right, exactly. If you have an exclusive commodity, yeah, then you probably shouldn't. So it was just really interesting to see that kind of perspective come out, and then for them to almost be surprised with the backlash. And it was like, no, you can say these things, yeah, but people will give rebuttals and people will drop support, and you should probably think twice about, what you say if you want.
And a big part of it is multiculturalism. It's a global economy, and like Russia is a country that is very gay unfriendly right now. There was a lot of people complaining about how you can't play as a female Link in Breath of the Wild, and Japan is not like all that concerned with gender equality, in all honesty. Like that's not a cultural priority of theirs. And so as the United States becomes above all things sensitive to these subjects, like not even tolerant or like making good progress, but just increasing our sensitivity to these things, it's very easy for us to kind of point at these different countries and the people in them and say like, you shouldn't act that way, when other countries are doing the same thing to us with the way that we treat minorities. So I'm not excusing it, but certainly like there is different perspectives.
Yeah, that just belongs to their culture, and that's straight up, all our point of views are right to us. Their point of views are right to them. Russia's are right to them, and that's how it goes. But yeah, it's that's what's going to happen. So interesting. Interesting how the global cultural kind of thing works out. But I don't know, man. So what are you looking forward to most that has been announced, that you know of, that you're aware of, that's been talked about?
Probably Resident Evil 7, because like I said, there are very few games that I buy new, and as of Resident Evil 5, that is a series that I do pick up day one typically. Cool. And like seeing the way that 7 looks and how much different it plays, it feels much more in line with what I want compared to a game like Resident Evil 6, which didn't really meet those values for me. So I'm excited. I'd like to check that out for sure.
Absolutely. Death Stranding.
I don't know what's going on with that.
That's what's kind of fun is it's not Kojima. It's as Kojima as it gets.
Yeah, there's a naked guy in it.
Yeah, it means it's as abstract as possible, and there's literally no clue as to what's happening or what will be happening in this game.
I like how Kojima is like he's very much playing the same thing that we've come to expect from him for so long, but it's so out there that it's like different every time.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, you have Konami, who after years of joking has literally announced a Metal Gear pachinko machine.
Yes. Yeah. It's like they're the obnoxious little brother who's just like they're egging on everybody simply because they can.
Yeah, or like they're the person who like takes a joke like one step too far.
Yeah.
Like everyone's kind of making like similar jokes, and then they make something that's like not quite on the same caliber.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for too long, so by the time it gets to them, it's just like, oh, don't.
Yeah, you're just that guy. You're just kind of like, oh, Konami. Yep, they're still here. Yeah. It's weird to like blast yourself into like some sort of weird irrelevance so quickly.
Yeah.
And financially, who knows if they're doing their thing right on, but like they've become an industry joke in a like overnight, man.
Yeah.
That's insane to think about. Yeah. To Konami is now like a verb. If you're making a massive mess up, you've Konami'd your game.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird to think about. How much can change in a year? Oh, well.
I just want Ice Climber on my phone.
On the Metal Gear Solid 4 engine?
Yeah, but it's Ice Climber Go. So like you
Snake
travel the world to find
auto move.
ice.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like going to be an automatic runner.
No, it's like Pokemon Go, but for Ice Climber.
So what if it was an automatic runner, but you had to hold the phone in front of you with the camera and run, and if you're not moving, like the pedometer didn't like detect that you're moving, then you lost.
Yeah.
And it would charge you money every time you lost.
Right, yeah. You have to watch a commercial and then pay 99 cents.
I think it's a good idea.
I'd do it.
R.I.P. Konami and all properties of Konami, says Nico. Though, well, I mean, yeah, essentially, yes. But
Pro Evolution Soccer is still going.
Contra on cell phones in China, absolutely.
Yep.
It's very pertinent right now. And R.I.P. Hudson Soft, which, yeah, that's actually almost more depressing, is to think that, like, goodbye Bomberman.
It sucks. But what were they really going to do to Bomberman?
Pachinko.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
8-player competitive Pachinko.
Blow each other up at the Pachinko parlor.
Yeah.
That'd be good. I'd be into it.
See, we're joking about this, and in a year and a half.
Yeah, exactly. It's just totally going to happen. 8-player
Tokyo
Pachinko.
Game Show 2018. They're
going to have
show off
8 linked machines. Yeah. Man.
Hachi Bomb.
Why is it happening? I was actually expecting. I thought Sega would have had an announcement for like PAX like a month or two ago, and then I thought they were going to do something at E3. But apparently July 22nd, they're going to have a big announcement, which everybody I think is still projecting Sonic Generations 2.
What if it's the 32 XX?
Like boobs?
Yeah, it's like an obscenely large pair of boobs that you can put tempo on.
You could just install them on your TV, and that's how you control
you install them on the boobs.
You install the boobs on the boobs, like you install the new boobs.
You use like Shrinky Dinks to play Knuckles Chaotix on a big pair of boobs.
Okay. So where do you put the boobs? Do you like install the boobs onto something?
Well, you have to go where the boobs are. It's like the Sega Channel.
Is it just like a woman with data in her?
No, there's no data in her. You just move the little like pasties manually.
So are the pasties the Shrinky Dinks?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense now. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Stretch Panic as well too. That came with pre-order boobs.
Yeah.
What is Treasure doing these days?
Probably nothing. Bangayo 9.
I wish. Okay. Probably not much. That's too bad. Okay. Armakrog is still coming out. That should be soon.
They have not done a game. Wait. Geist Crusher and Geist Crusher God.
When were those out and what were they for?
They are Capcom published 3DS games, 2013 and 2014.
Really? Is that Japan only?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. I don't remember that happening.
Those are the last things they've done.
Okay. I gotcha. Bloodstained.
Really good.
Do you think it's going to have mac and cheese as like a consumable item?
People are joking about that already. Yeah, that it's going to get added into the game.
It probably will.
Your hero needs mac and cheese to get health.
That'd be good. Oh yeah, there's a couple of things I wanted to discuss. Have you had a chance to check out the new Ninja Turtles at all? The game?
No.
Okay. So it's the kind of game that like I actually don't feel like playing unless I'm playing it with people because it is set up so well for multiplayer, and as a single player game it feels very average. Mechanics are fine, the gameplay is good, but the setup is just, it screams 4 players, and I'm glad that it's 4 players, but even if the minimum of 2, I think it's a much better experience. But we should find a way to do this at some point.
Okay.
Because I would play that with you. Then there's the Ninja Turtles movie, which I saw opening day, because they release them like a day ahead of time now. Like, that's just what movies do. Like, that came out on a Friday, but I just saw it Thursday afternoon because they stopped caring. And for all intents and purposes, it was terrible, but I loved it so much. because like the story and the acting was a mess, but it had all the things from the 80s cartoon that I wanted, so I was completely satisfied. Just so you know. And then I saw World of Warcraft, or Warcraft the movie, which we discussed, I think, very briefly.
Yes.
And I actually was very alarmed to find out how many people I know like this. I don't want to discount that, but I was so appalled at the acting that I genuinely wanted to leave halfway through the movie. I was so unimpressed. But it looked great, and I'm glad people liked it. It told the story well, so that's cool. But it was probably the worst acting I've seen in a theater movie in my life. So just...
Like, would you rather watch like the Dead or Alive movie?
It's a tough call. No, because at least Warcraft had orcs, and the orcs were awesome, and the CG was awesome. And like Michael Graham had watched the Dead or Alive movie at some point in his life, and then we started playing the games a whole bunch. And he was like, "Man, I really want to watch that movie again." I was like, "I don't think you actually want to do that." And so he's like, "Well, let's just watch it some night. It's just an hour and a half." And I was like, I know, but we probably shouldn't watch it." And he goes, "Come on." And so he kept pining for it. Eventually I was like, "You know what? Fine. We'll do it." And so then we're watching it, and about halfway through he was like, "Dude, this is so much worse than I remember." And I was like, "I know, I told you." And he goes, "Well, here's the problem, is that before I knew the story of Dead or Alive, the movie wasn't so bad. But now I know that who all these characters are, this movie is terrible." Because they make every character a worse version of themselves.
Yeah.
Even Ryu, who's arguably the most badass ninja on the planet, is awful. There's nothing pleasant to say about his character in that movie. So he actually wanted to turn it off before I did when we were watching it. But I'd probably rather watch Warcraft than Dead or Alive, just because, again, the orcs, it wasn't all bad. It was just that anything with the humans was terrible. But all the orc stuff and the story and the CG and the cinematography, it was all super great looking. It's a very good looking movie. But yeah, anytime somebody opened their mouths, I felt embarrassed. So, oh well, that's how it goes. So it goes. You don't watch a lot of movies. You're not a big movie person.
Not a big movie guy. I watched a lot of movies this week, though. It was kind of strange.
What'd you watch?
Nah, nothing good.
Just bad movies?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, it happens. Do you have Netflix?
I do have access to Netflix, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, you probably don't have it yourself, but you have a way to watch it.
Yeah, and I mostly use it to watch, like, I've been watching Wet Hot American Summer first day of camp.
Good. Do you like that?
It's... At times, yeah.
That's fair. You're not as into that crew.
I am, actually. I like them a lot.
Okay. Oh, no, because you like The State.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. There's like something about this series that it feels like they just thought they would try things. Like there are whole episodes that aren't funny to me, and then there are other episodes that are like, oh, okay, this is like it got a good pace to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it also here's the weird thing is I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen like Wet Hot American Summer. Okay,
I think a lot of the references and jokes made make a lot more sense.
Okay,
assuming you've seen the movie. So if you get a chance to watch that,
yeah. Well, I was at Erin's house when we were gonna watch it, and because she's not like really big into comedy, like I'm kind of a comedy nerd, and so we were going through stuff, and I was like, why don't we watch this? She wanted to watch a movie, and so I was like, okay, well, why don't we watch this? And we started it, and she's like, oh, we watched this already, and I was like, no, we haven't. And so it's been bugging her, like she has no idea who she watched this movie with, but she had seen it, so we didn't watch it. Okay.
Check that out when you get a chance. And also, I don't think it's on Netflix, but it's on Amazon. If you have access to that, is They Came Together.
Okay.
And I won't tell you any more than that, but watch that movie and tell me what you think, because a lot of people totally didn't like it, and I can see why, depending on your expectations. But I watched that movie 5 times in a row, once a day, every day for like a week, because I saw it and I was like, this is great. And I was like, Michael Graham, have you seen this? He goes, no. I said, then we're going to watch it. And then I was like, hey, whoever else. And I watched it with a different person every day just because I wanted to watch it with them. So that's what happened. That was like my stint with that movie. I loved it so much. So watch They Came Together.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Movie chat.
Yep.
Movie chat.
What about Gilbert Grape, the sequel?
Oh, Gilbert Grape 2 Unleashed?
Yeah.
Dark Horizon. that, that was really good. Yeah, that's where Arnie ends up becoming like the general of the new Nazi regime.
Right.
Yeah.
And only Gilbert can stop him.
Right, exactly, because Gilbert feeds him like a hamburger or a cupcake or whatever. I don't know what he likes. I can't remember. I haven't seen that movie in a while, and I get upset every time I do because it's sad. And I think Leo is a good actor. Oh, I saw the Revenant recently.
Yeah.
I liked it. I don't like it's weird for me. It almost seems like they gave Leo an Oscar just because they're like, finally, you're in a movie and it's time, so here you go.
Yeah.
I liked the movie, but like I don't think it was like the most stellar performance of all time or anything. But it was a good movie. Definitely worth seeing.
Do you think it was just like a bad year for movies, and so they were like, all right.
Yep, you win by default.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. It was good. That's it. That's the end. That's the end of the podcast.
Good.
Finally. No, I'll give you a quick update. I'm doing a lot better in life, by the way. The past couple of months I know were a very rocky time for me. And I've come back into my stride again, and it's been tremendous. The bow stores are doing extremely well right now. My energy has been renewed. I'm feeling a lot better just with everything. Just it's been a really good time, much better for me. And so I'm thankful to everybody who's stood by my side and helped me out.
Good.
So, yeah, doing much better. Deep breath.
Yep. That's the only way you can get air.
That's true, yeah. Short breaths, you don't get any air at all.
No, it's basically like, you know how when you smoke a cigarette, the smoke's got to come through the filter before it hits your mouth.
Okay.
Short breath is it's just all filter.
So the air just gets to the filter, doesn't even like pass the checkpoint, essentially. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's like drinking out of a long straw.
It never actually gets there. It's like chewing food but not swallowing.
Yes.
Damn. Chewing exclusively with your incisors.
Those are the pointy ones, right? Oh, those.
Yeah, the front two.
I can't chew with those. Mine don't bite down together. I have to chew everything with my molars.
Yeah, I pretty much have to as well, because...
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. Tooth Talk starring Radon. Oh, thanks, Nico. Yeah, and Nico says, time for me to come back in the podcast as a guest. The last time was an honor, even when Michael's internet was going in and out. And we'll get Nico back on. I've actually got a couple people sort of lined up. One of them is a cosplayer named Katie Bear. She lives here in Albuquerque, and she's been around. She's at a lot of those like Southwest conventions. She's going to show up. My wonderful, delightful friend Ashley, whom I dated several years back, is going to be on the show at some point as well too. I'd like to get Caitlin onto the show at some point. There's a whole bunch of people that I think I would like to do as guest appearances and just chat and talk and do all that good stuff and see what we can do. But a lot of things to learn from people. I think it'll be good.
Like favorite colors.
Yeah, what's your favorite color? Have you ever eaten a bone before? Yeah. Do you tie your hair up all the time?
What's your preferred hopscotch strategy?
Exactly, yeah. Tiddlywinks or Pogs, because
that's a big schism. There's a lot of infighting in those fandoms.
Yeah, I will never accept somebody who says both because it means you're a goddamn fence sitter. So get out of here.
Right. Yeah. Shit or get off the pot.
Exactly. No. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to go home.
Good.
I'm going to go back to my house. Now, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen here in a second.
You're going to play Rhythm Heaven for like 3 hours. Whatever plans you had for tonight have gone out the window.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I can't decide if I want to do Resident Evil first and try that and stream that. Because it's nighttime, and that's the kind of game I want to play at night. I think that'd be more fun.
Yeah. It's the kind of game you want to play when you're at night.
Well, yeah, if you ever are knighted by Sir Elton John, He can knight people, right? Now that he's a knight.
No.
What?
No, it's not like a viral campaign.
He just bites you and you become a knight. um, I wasn't sure if like he had any authority. Maybe like he can't do it himself, but he can throw out like a recommendation.
A good word, yeah, with the queen.
That's good. Who's gonna be the next queen? Because she's up there, man. She's getting ready to.
I think Beyonce is leading the vote right now.
Oh, for English queens.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she looks like it. She looks like an English queen.
Right. Yeah, and she sounds like. She sounds like Queen Elizabeth does.
She does sound like Queen Elizabeth. Yeah.
Voice.
The same vocal patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the CIA can't actually tell them apart if they're ever tapped into like, a conversation.
Yeah, that's well. They all covered this in Beyonce's heist movie where she goes to Buckingham Palace and gets past the voice recognition doors.
Heist movie. They're using it's almost method acting. They're using real world elements, inside the film. It's supposed to work.
It's like like how they have those games where like Quantum Break, kind of like more like Defiance, where like what you do in the game impacts what happens in the TV show.
Yeah.
It's like that, but what they do in the movie impacts real life.
Okay. So they rewrote reality.
Yeah.
Okay. By using her voice to unlock the Queen's secret bedroom office in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
They wrote that in as like a joke, and then when they taped it, when they filmed it, it was like, wow, she really does sound exactly like the Queen. And so they went, so then they went to England on location and tried it out, and they got in, and that's how they got Queen Elizabeth the cameo in the movies, because they just kind of surprised her by rolling the entire
film crew just busts into her bedroom.
Yeah.
Surprise. Yeah. That's cool that they can do that now.
Well, yeah, it's because cameras they're all on phones.
There's just a whole bunch of guys walking in with their phones up.
Yeah.
That's cool. Technology.
The Blair Witch Project 4 starring the Queen of England.
Oh my god. So what if you burst into Queen Elizabeth's room and she was just standing in the corner, and there's like a weird buzzing noise?
What would I do
personally? Yeah.
I would probably see if she had any snacks.
Okay, so if you're not there, you're not at the Buckingham Palace. You're at home in Las Cruces.
Yeah.
But you're watching it live on, CNN
or on VR, CNN VR.
CNN VR.
Where it just teleports you to all the world's tragedies, so it's like you're really there.
Yeah, because there's always one news guy who has little Google 360-degree camera helmet.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you actually get to live all the terrible things that happen in Poland and Qatar and Alaska, Brazil. So you get to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, CNN VR launching this fall.
Yep. It's exclusive to Microsoft.
So yeah, only on Xbox One. Oh dear. Okay. We're going to get in trouble. We should probably go.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm excited because there's a bunch of new stuff that's coming up. We're going to be relaunching the website in the next, month or so, streamlining the entire site as a whole. We've got Cyberzone coming back regularly every week. We're going to be... that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was more to it, but that's all.
Nope.
That's it. Yeah, we'll be working on some more stuff, a lot more fun social things, and keeping up with Instagram and the Snapchat and Twitter, and helping. We're sponsoring a lot of events for gaming tournaments and things like that. Getting a bunch of new merchandise, new stickers, new hats, new shirts. There's a lot of stuff on the way for fans of GA, and it's going to be a good time to be a fan of video games here in Albuquerque, because there's so much happening that we're going to be a part of, and I'm excited to release more details as these things come. So that's all there is to it.
Yep.
See? Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's nice of you.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it together. Okay. So with that, maybe I'll do Resident Evil tomorrow. Actually, I might do that because I might be hanging out with Juanita. It's her birthday. And I think she's going to want to hang out and play a couple video games. So I'll probably just do my Rhythm Heaven tonight.
Yeah, you could do it everywhere. You can do it everywhere and anywhere.
Rhythm Heaven everywhere.
Yeah, that's the new.
Is that Omar?
It is Omar. Yeah, hang on. There he is.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy. Okay, good. Hi everybody. Hi my boys.
Hi boys.
My three sons. I used to watch that show too. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shows that were on Nick at Night, or even just Nickelodeon itself. Like,
yeah.
Why was I watching 15? I was 8.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that show was not for me.
No, but I watched Green Acres, and I watched I Dream of Jeannie, and I watched Happy Days, and I watched all of the things. So, oh sweet. Ronnie Webster says, by the way, I'm a fan of the podcast subbed. So we have a new fan, which is super awesome.
We did it.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah, humble beginnings. We're still, I mean, we've been doing this for several years, but we're still sort of growing.
I feel like we're the lowest rated video game irreverent comedy podcast the internet has to offer.
Probably, yeah.
Like the least liked. So
every exactly. Now we have one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. Now we'll make our break into fame eventually, and I want to start doing like more giveaways and like fun contests and stuff like that as I'm able. My problem is that I'm busy doing a million different things all the time, and so I have a hard time keeping up and concentrating with all the things I want to do. So I might have to start delegating these things. But
we need a prize patrol, is what you're saying.
Basically, yeah. We get Mark Marin. I was going to say Mark.
Mark Mann.
Mark Knopfler.
Oh.
Yeah. And every time we put a prize, he does like a sweet solo.
Mark Marin and Mark Knopfler.
Versus mode.
Versus
the Space Mutants.
Yeah. Mark Knopfler's there, but you can only win prizes that he lists in Money for Nothing, like color TVs or refrigerators.
Yeah, exactly. It's limited to anything in his songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Walk of Life.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, you can find us online, facebook.com/cyberzone podcast.
Yep.
Facebook.com/gamersanonymous. Go to garetro.com. Our new site will be coming soon, which will be a lot easier to navigate, a lot more direct, a much better setup, which I'm excited for. You can check us out on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram @GARetro, and I think that might be it.
Yeah, for now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you guys ever need anything, though, I'm John. I run the video game store Gamers Anonymous here in Albuquerque. You're free to message us online, ask if you have any questions, if you need us to help you out with something, if you need something repaired, if you need to sell something, whatever it is, or you just want to chat about video games. I'm always cool with that when I get the opportunity. So let me know, and we'll see you guys next week.
Same time.
Okay, same time, same place.
Yep, same food.
Same food, same hamburgers.
It's going to be bad by then, but
if you freeze it, it might be okay.
Yeah, but then it's cold.
Ice cream.
That's your answer for everything.
It is my answer for everything. I love ice cream. I found this like super low calorie ice cream, and like an entire pint of it is still like 300 calories. So even if you binge, like nothing happens.
What does it taste like?
Delicious. They have like 4 or 5 different flavors. They have cake batter. They've got cookie dough. They've got chocolate peanut butter. They have snickerdoodle, and they're all delicious.
Okay.
It actually tastes, all of it tastes good. So it's awesome because I get hungry all the time, and I just eat the shit constantly, and it does nothing. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
I think it's a trick.
It might be, yeah.
I think it's all horse bones.
It's just horse bones and bread. bread concentrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Just add horse bones.
Yeah, exactly. Just dehydrated horse bones?
No, the bread's dehydrated, and the marrow inside the horse bones, the juicy, succulent marrow, rehydrates it.
I see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, excellent. More science, as always. This is actually a much more focused podcast than we normally do. We actually we tend to get off topic quite frequently, especially when Michael Graham's around. And with some of our guests, we might do the same thing. So we'll see how that works out.
The last like 4 or 5 episode run that we did was really focused on what celebrity could beat Randy Quaid in a fight?
And the answer is nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even limited to celebrities. No one can do it.
That's impossible. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, like it's literally he's unstoppable. And it's mostly because he's crazy. It's not because they're not more powerful than him.
He's not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But he's crazy enough to overpower you.
It's fighting the crazy. That's the difficult part. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm out of here for the night. Going to play some Rhythm Heaven and get a little bit of dessert going down.
So you are going to play Rhythm Heaven? I thought you were going to play Resident Evil.
I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow to play Resident Evil with Juanita.
Okay.
So that way I can experience it for the first time with her so she can see what it's all about. Because I think it's going to be funny to get her reactions as whatever spooky things happen, you know?
Right.
A ghost shows up in the piece of paper when you find it on the table. So, okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again next week on the Cyber Zone.
Touch it.
Touch the Cyber Zone. We're touching. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.